Hey guys, what's up? It's Micah. I just want to make a couple of disclaimers really quick before we get started in this video. Number one, I originally made this video or filmed this video actually back at around April. And the reason why it took so long for me to even share this is because I was honestly still scared to share it, despite the fact that I have shared this story previously back at around January of this year. After telling my story a couple days after, a lot of drama went down, which I feel like this doesn't really relate to this video. It kind of did, but like I feel like it would definitely be a whole lot of an explanation. I was gonna, talk about that part of the story in an episode of my podcast. So I don't know. I just don't feel comfortable sharing that part right now because I'm still in a kind of a place where I'm trying to find the right words to say. So again, like I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from in that. But back at around like February, went through like a lot of drama after that between me and people within the music community and people who I thought I could, be open to or thought would be understanding and just seeing people's true colors and also just like me going through like a whole bunch of like episodes and sharing it on the internet and getting shit for it as a way to like be held accountable when it was silencing me and made me feel like I couldn't talk to anybody and it made me feel even more isolated with like how everything was handled on both my part as well as on their parts. So that was a whole nother thing. But yeah, that was one of the reasons why I held this video off for so long. Another reason to why I held it off was because I just didn't really know when was the right time to say something because I felt like it didn't make sense to make a video about my sexual assault story when I already shared it back in January, so I felt like there was no point. However, I feel like now is the right time to share this because earlier this week, I was scrolling through Grindr, and if you guys don't know what Grindr is, it's basically a dating app that a lot of gay men use. And I was scrolling on my homepage and I see a profile picture that looked so familiar. And so I looked at it and I noticed their tattoos. They had a stomach tattoo, which I will like show somewhere on the screen. So they have like a chest piece and they also have a stomach tattoo. And I realized that the reason why this person looks so familiar to me is because it was the guy that sexually assaulted me. And that made me fucking furious because just the fact that this guy had the fucking audacity to pretend that nothing ever fucking happened and proceeds to go on dating apps like Grindr after being exposed and after being called out by all the victims and survivors, myself included, for the abuse that he has put onto other people. And on top of that, like denying all claims and then saying that like, oh, this was blackmail and like just like all this like self-contradicting shit, which don't worry, I'll feature both of their statements or both of his statements later in this video. But I find it to be funny. I find it to be embarrassing. And I find it also to be so infuriating. Like, I felt like all these like emotions because, mind you, he's in his early 30s. He's a grown. The reason why I'm laughing is like, he's a grown ass man. He's a grown ass man. And the fact that he's acting in this way by just denying all claims and just claims to live a promiscuous F-boy life while also bringing up his race and sexual orientation. And here's the thing, I have dealt with the same discrimination in the gay community myself as a gay Viet male myself. But that should not excuse you to rape and sexually assault multiple people, including my damn self, bitch. So shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. This is what you're doing. This is what I want you to do. Like the lack of accountability that he is not willing to admit is just so fucking embarrassing to me. And it really shows who he really is. Doesn't want to take accountability, doesn't want to take any responsibility, and he would do whatever he can to try to escape from the issue. But at the end of the day, like, I just want him to go to jail. Actually, I want to go to fucking prison. Yeah, so that's the reason why I am finally putting out this video. And I hope that this reaches out to more people, because the last thing that I want is for people to go through the same situation as I have. So if you live in the Chicago area and if you hear the name Hyunsoo or Antonio or Soju, please run the fuck away, run away. Don't interact with him, report him on any dating site that you can find. One of the victims who had opened up to me about their own story, they said that he's basically pretty much banned in all Chicago gay bars. So that's a good sign, at least. Either way, I still feel like now is a time for me to claim my story, to, not be silenced, as well as all the other victims and survivors that also were affected by his wrongdoings. And so I hope by making this video and by sharing this video, I hope this reaches out to more people to spread awareness. If you are ever in a situation where you are being sexually assaulted, or if you know someone who's sexually assaulted or has been sexually assaulted, I will leave resources down in the description below so that you guys can find those resources and to spread the word, spread awareness, because you never really know what someone's going through. You know what I mean? I do want to thank you guys so much for reaching out to me and making sure I am okay, and to also reach out all the other victims that have been affected by his wrongdoings. It truly means a lot to us. It truly means a lot to us that our stories are being heard and that our feelings are valid and our stories are valid. And we need to continue talking about these things, because sexual assault is still going on within the LGBTQ plus community. And it's such a scary thing to experience. And it's something that I do not wish upon anyone else. And so hopefully this reaches out to more people. And I really just want people to spread the word, because this is an important topic that we need to discuss more. Okay. Oh, another disclaimer that I want to say is there are going to be some parts where I do kind of react in an unconstructive manner per se, but like out of anger. But like, still, this makes me mad. Like, it still makes me furious and confused that there are still people like him that think that they can get away with shit. Let's be honest. He's a pussy. He's a pussy. Let's be honest. He's a pussy. Like, lack of accountability, lack of responsibility, bitch. He's a fucking pussy. I'm not going to apologize for being mad at people that, tried to silence me, that have done me wrong. And guess what? I'm claiming my story. I am speaking my truth, and that's all I'm doing. That's, if that's not on period, then I really have no idea what is. So, yeah, just want to get that out of the way. I think that's pretty much all I need to say for the disclaimer. So without further ado, thank you for listening to my story. And yeah, just thank you guys so much. Anyways, here's a video. Hi, everybody. What's up? If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Micah XIII. I am an independent music artist based in Chicago, Illinois. Earlier this year, I think around maybe late January to somewhere in February, I opened up on Twitter in regards to my sexual assault story, which, if you guys are triggered by this type of topic, please click away. But I want to go more in depth of my experience of between me and Soju, who was the person that sexually assaulted me since I was a freshman in college. So somewhere around like 2017, 2018. And I think I was around probably 18 years old. It's going to be a lot, because this has been something that I have never really talked about to anybody, because I didn't want people to think that I was faking my experience. You know what I mean? I didn't want people to think that I was saying whatever it is or my story as a way to seek attention or to seek validation by any means. And by explaining my story, I just want to clarify and make a disclaimer that I am not doing any of this for any personal gain in any way, shape, or form. I'm just going to tell you guys my personal experience and hope that you guys hear my story. So, how it all began. So, I actually have followed Soju for a long time before she even hit me up and messaged me. So I think it was like a couple months before, maybe like 5 or 6 months back when I was like probably a high schooler. I think it was around like probably like my freshman year of college to maybe a little bit before that that I started following Soju. And the reason why I followed her was because, you know, I was a huge fan of Drag Race back then. I'm not really that fully invested in the whole drag, I guess, world, the drag queen world, if you will. But, you know, as a gay male, okay, drag was something that I looked forward to. You know, like I would watch a whole bunch of memes of all these drag queens like Alyssa Edwards, Willem Belly or Belly, Detox, Vicky, Trixie, Katya. Like those are some of the drag queens that I look up to and that I get inspired by. And in this case, Soju was one of them. If you guys don't know who Soju is, she is one of the drag queens that was in, I think, season 11, I think, of RuPaul's Drag Race. And she was also the first person in the show to be booted off, which I find it to be quite fitting if I do say so myself. But I just really liked her personality, I guess, at the time. I really liked her makeup and how unique it was. And how she was one of the people who I thought, you know, I would look up to in the gay community, especially towards, you know, Asian and Asian Americans that are also a part of the LGBTQ plus community. She was one of those people who I thought was someone that I looked forward to, you know, who was also an inspiration of mine. So it was kind of disappointing to see where that came down, especially with my personal experiences between me and her. I think it was probably around like during my freshman year, probably during the beginning of fall. That was when I got a notification on my phone on Twitter, and I realized that she followed me back, and I was like, "Holy what?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was just so excited. But she followed me back, and I was like, "Holy shit!" A person that I've looked up to for a while, you know, especially in the drag world, the drag queen land, the land of the drag queens. Okay, it was lit, you know. But when she messaged me first, okay, I should have took this as a red flag. Okay, so the first thing that she said was, "Hey, you're cute as fuck." And I wish I had these messages saved. I wish I had all these screenshots. But if you guys didn't know, or if you guys might have heard already, she deactivated her Twitter. She also went on private as well on Instagram, as well as her personal Instagram. So more of the story is there's basically no other way that I can receive like all the previous DMs and our past interactions through social media. And even I checked on Snapchat and I couldn't receive any like messages. I couldn't like recover any like past messages or whatever. So if any of you people that are watching this video are gonna tell me like, "Oh, like, do you have proof? Do you have receipts?" Like, first of all, I don't owe you anything. Okay, I have seen many victims and survivors opening up about their really vulnerable stories when it comes to them opening up about the sexual assault stories. And the fact that people would have the audacity, specifically cisgendered white men, okay, or anyone that has never personally experienced what going through sexual assault is like, okay, they would have the audacity to be like, "Oh, like, do you have proof? Do you have receipts?" Like, all that stuff. And I made a TikTok about it like a while back, but that's not the main importance of this video. Us victims and us survivors of sexual assault, we don't owe you shit, okay? We can give that information to authorities, okay? But when it comes to people that we don't even know that are trying to attack us or whatever just to find proof or to invalidate our personal experiences, guess what? We don't owe you anything, okay? I personally do not owe you shit, okay? So back off and shut the fuck up, because you would never know what could happen to you until it happens, okay? You will never know what it's like to be sexually assaulted until it happens to you. So I don't want anyone in the comments. I mean, I know at the end of the day people will, but like, Please refrain from saying anything offensive towards people like myself who have been through sexual assault, okay? Since she first started DMing me on Twitter, we then exchanged Snapchats or whatever. And that was when we started talking. I think we like exchanged like pictures or whatever. We sent each other selfies, and then I think it kind of got a little bit sexual. I really have no idea because it's been like 2 to 3 years since it happened. Even then, like my memory is just also really fucking bad. So bear with me, okay? But we've had like many like interactions and like I guess like exchanged whatever. And eventually, she then asked me if I wanted to go out to have breakfast with her. And I was like, yo, that's so fucking tight. Like, I'd totally be down. And we met at this breakfast place. I literally forgot what the name of the place was because I've never been there before. When we met, I could have not think of any single red flag from that interaction. Okay. We like had a really good conversation. We just talked about, her experience in drag, what, being a drag queen is like. And then like she also like wanted to get to know me with like my music and stuff. I thought at the time it was great, like I didn't think of anything that was just like extremely red flag. Like, I didn't even notice any red flags. I thought it was just like a regular interaction and stuff like that, right? She paid for my meal and stuff, which was generous of her at the time. Okay. She wanted to know like if I wanted to, meet up with her again. I think like at her apartment or whatever. And I was like, sure, yeah, we could just like chill at your place or whatever. That's fine. After like our meetup, I guess, at the breakfast place, I went back to my apartment, and I think maybe the week after, we then set up a date to her place, right? And so I went, and that was when things got weird. Okay. Basically, we hooked up. Yeah. And like, I think the first time that we hooked up, I didn't really expect it. I mean, well, I kind of did, but like, I kind of didn't know that it was going to go down that road, you know? And so, like, again, like that memory was pretty blurry to me. So, like, he made a couple of advances the first time, where like he wanted to top me or whatever, because he said he was a top, and I was like, how, like, I don't feel comfortable doing that or whatever. Again, I don't even know exactly what I said, but like, I think the first time we just did oral and that was it. I was just kind of weirded out the whole time because I couldn't believe that happened, for one. And secondly, to have someone you look up to be willing to make those advances with you is pretty weird. Like it kind of just goes in full circle with the whole like James Charles effect, where it's like you use your power to target your fans or your supporters as a way to make either sexual advances with them or try to get on a date with them. Like that's not okay. Okay, you shouldn't use your fan base or your platform as a dating pool, like with your supporters or people that look up to you when it comes to working on your art, working on your craft, your music, whatever it is, right? And eventually we did end up like working on some music together. The first attempt of the song that we did, it was never finished because the hard drive that I have at the time, or that I had at the time, it died. And so I was just like, shit, what am I gonna do now? And so I tried taking it to like the nearest like computer repair shop or whatever, and I could not be able to afford it. Like it was $200, and I was just like, holy fuck, I cannot do that. So I had no other choice but to abandon that old hard drive and get a new one. Even then, like I remember like the second date that we had like outside of her apartment, right? I forgot what it was. Like Jesus Christ, it's been such a long time. Yeah, like we were like keeping up with each other, and like I remember like we were like exchanging some ideas, and then it was also around that time where mentally I was just not there. Like I was already going through a lot mentally. I didn't take my mental health seriously, and I was just already like I was just in that kind of dark place in my life where I was just self-deprecating, all that stuff, right? And I thought at the time that she and I had a really like heart to heart conversation in regards to like, some of her experiences, dealing with depression, anxiety, and stuff, and like all that stuff. And at the time, I thought like she kind of put it into perspective at the time, even though I didn't really fully see it because I was still like very in my head a lot. But like at the time I thought, you know, it was a good heart to heart like kind of conversation that like at the time I thought I'd never forget. But now I do because I don't want anything to do with her. I think the second time I visited her place was the moment where I remembered most in a bad way. And I'm gonna get more in depth of that. So I think it was like during the spring. I think it was when I was a sophomore in college or whatever, like somewhere around there. I honestly don't really remember anymore because again, it's been a long time and I like repress some stuff that I don't want to remember in my life. But I remember around that time, it was during the time where she had to hide like the fact that she was in RuPaul's Drag Race and stuff because she didn't want anything to leak. She signed like an NDA with RuPaul and like the show, right? And she asked if I wanted to come over because she was feeling lonely and stuff. And like at the time, I just, you know, I thought, you know, we were just gonna have like a chat, you know, because I haven't seen her in a long time, right? And, you know, I thought, you know, I saw her as a friend despite the fact that, you know, we hooked up, right? Without me even knowing completely. And yeah, like I thought like it was just gonna be a regular conversation, you know, maybe we were gonna watch some TV. Eventually it turned to be like another hookup, except I was too scared to say no when she kept making all these advances at me. And looking back, like I just knew that was sexual assault. Basically, if I could just remember clearly, I remember like she was talking about like how like we could like watch a movie or whatever or watch like a show, but then like all of a sudden like she like made an advance of like making out with me and then like, you know, clothes were being taken off and like the whole entire time I was just feeling so uncomfortable because I thought we were just gonna meet up and just watch TV and just chill. When really I didn't realize that, you know, she was taking advantage of my body. And I was just too scared to say no because I didn't know what would happen if I said no. You know, when you're in that kind of situation, like you freeze. You don't even know where your fight or flight response even is, right? So you're just kind of like motionless and you don't feel shit. Like you don't know what to do, you don't know what to say. Like all you could just do is to let it happen. And that I think was what happened at the time. We kind of went like all the way down to anal, except I was just too uncomfortable doing anal, but like she kept pushing it and I just like I felt like I had no choice but to let it happen. And after that incident, we then started to like, you know, work on music. I already told you about the whole like hard drive story that was really tragic for me. And yeah, like I feel like this whole entire time, like whenever, like in the moment, especially when I texted Soju and we like exchanged text messages and stuff, there were a lot of red flags that I couldn't have noticed until now. And I kind of want to go over some of those things with you guys, just to give you guys a better understanding of some of the patterns that she has done, not only to me, but to all the victims. So this happened in around like Thanksgiving. So November 28th of 2019. Okay. We were working on another song together where I think it has been finished, but I don't think that project's gonna be out at any time soon because of what happened. But I like wished her a happy Thanksgiving, and I think like the previous messages that we had, I like asked her initially how you know life has been since she and I haven't talked in a while at the time because she was doing her own thing. I was doing my own as well. There was a period of time where we kind of just stopped talking, not from the incident, but it was because like I was just already so busy dealing with life stuff and especially with like school. And this was around that time where like I like dropped out. So I dropped out of school like at around the springtime of 2019. So around like March or April or something. And yeah, and then I think during that period, that was like when we kind of just like stopped talking because I was already dealing with a lot mentally and she was already doing like her own stuff with like work and music and stuff like that. I sent her like a message like after that saying, also, I asked you how life has been since it was a while. Sorry, there's a typo that I didn't even notice. Since it has been a while since we last talked. And when you texted me back, you sent me a voice memo of your melody ideas for the song we were working on. Ignore my text after. So like I have autism, and so whenever like people like would send me a text message that I would interpret it as shady or petty, I would just feel paranoid and I would think about it for like more than a day or two because that's just how I interpret text messages. I mean, I understand that, it's through text, so you never really know what the other person's feeling from the other side. I know it shouldn't be a big deal, but like for me, like it's still something that I deal with sometimes. I'm trying to work on that. So that was the text I sent her. And then she responded back saying, I don't know, it's been hard. I don't really like talking about it because it stresses me out. LOL. Happy Thanksgiving. Also, I'm leaving for the weekend to Iowa, so I can only. I don't know if I still have like the messages that um were saved on my phone, so I will double check on that if there's any other information that I forgot. But basically, like she like kind of gave me some updates since she was gonna like go to Iowa for something, maybe like for like a gig or something like that. I don't know if she even has family in Iowa, but like, and then I said, oh, it's all good. I also get that your life is hectic since you have to travel a lot for work, but I don't want this friendship to all of a sudden turn into a business kind of thing, even if it is business since we're working on a song together. What I meant through that message was I thought initially we started off as friends. We never really like had that kind of interaction where she was like, "Oh, like um I really like your music a lot and all that stuff." She literally told me that I was cute looking and that I was like hot or whatever. So basically she was straight up flirting with me and it was nothing like business related. Like it's like the under professional area. Okay? I continued on by saying when I say I want to build connections with other people, I genuinely mean it. And I don't want my future connections to just only be a one-sided transaction. Like I can at least get to know you a little bit, you know? This was where things kind of got weird. And that was when she started gaslighting me. I don't want to fuck this up. So let me just double check if I have like the vocabulary or the definition right. So gaslighting is to manipulate someone by psychological means into questioning their own sanity. In this situation, she was basically making me feel guilty by saying like the messages that I'm going to read to you right now. So she first starts off by saying, "You're stressing me out. Like I thought we were friends. I don't know where all this is coming from." And then it was like, I mean, I thought we were friends too. She then responds back by saying, "We are, and I genuinely like don't have a lot of time. So I don't know why you're kind of guilt tripping me right now. Like, do you want me to feel even shittier than I already do?" This was a red flag because I thought, like, when I initially sent her the messages, it was never my intention to make her feel bad or guilty. And the fact that she responded back to me in that way is a huge sign that she was trying to manipulate me into thinking that I have made a really, really bad decision, even though I was coming from a very good place. At least I thought. I thought I was coming from a good place. But she goes on by saying, like, "I'm sorry, I'm doing fine, but my life is literally so rocky right now, and I don't really like talking about it because I get anxiety from all the shit I have to do. I have an album to finish. I'm in debt, even though she literally signed a $1 million NDA contract. I have to work, but I also need to finish this album, all while my family is trying me. My relationship needs work. I don't have friends in LA." And mind you, the relationship was a forced relationship. Okay? And even then, the person who was dating her at the time, like they even opened up a little bit about how they were also a victim of her wrongdoings. Okay? But continuing on, so basically she's just dumping all of the things she's dealt with. And it's like, okay, I get it. You're going through a lot, but also me too. Okay? Like, I don't know if all this was a whole miscommunication issue or if it was just her way to make me feel bad that I still want us to be friends, even though the whole entire time she was manipulating me. Like, she took advantage of my body. How much worse could it get? You know? So basically, like, she was like, "What do you want from me?" I'm just like, I just still want us to be friends, you know? And but I was trying to be as respectful as I can. And I said, "My intentions were to never guilt trip you, and I didn't mean to not put your emotions into consideration, and I should have known better. I didn't even know you were going through that many things at once, and I tend to forget that people around me go through bigger issues, and I'm guilty of that, and I'm sorry I triggered your anxiety. I should have put more thought into what I was trying to say, and again, I apologize if I ever hurt your feelings because that wasn't what I was trying to do." Hi, this is Micah from the future. So I am currently looking back at the video right now as I'm editing this, and I didn't even notice in the very last screenshot at the bottom of the screenshot, I didn't realize that I said, "I'm sorry if" instead of "sorry that." It was never my intention to invalidate his feelings at all, as I was still trying to be as respectful. And plus, like, I tend to, not be the best at explaining things. So I hope this gives you guys some form of clarity. Again, this was to never make him feel any negative way. I was still trying to respect his feelings at the time, so I truly apologize if that confuses you guys in any way. I am so sorry. My DSLR died, and so now I'm using my phone. And I'm also recording through Streamlabs. So if you're wondering why the quality is kind of as well as the lagginess, that's pretty much why. So again, I apologize in advance. I guess to jump off from the last couple of things that I've mentioned between the text messages, I thought the whole entire time I was coming from a good place. I thought that, I wanted to reach out to her and just be like, I still want us to be friends. I want us to be more than just like collaborators, because how we met was obviously not that. I feel like that interaction was the biggest red flag, or one of the biggest red flags that I could have realized, you know what I mean? And the worst part about it was it wasn't my first time that I was sexually assaulted. Back when I was a freshman in high school, there was this guy that I met through Grindr, and basically, like, I, was looking and I want to hook up with somebody, and the whole entire time I felt super uncomfortable. And there are a couple reasons why. Number one, when I met him, he told me that his mom was upstairs. So that, okay. And secondly, when I saw his privates in person, I just wasn't sure how that was going to fit in. And the whole entire time, I just felt uncomfortable because there are already so many of these like factors that obviously make a person like me uncomfortable, right? But like we still went for it anyway. And the whole entire time, I just felt really uncomfortable and I was just too scared to say no or to stop or whatever. And there was a point where I just kind of stood like after when like he like pulled out, right? I just like wanted him to stop. Like I think I told him, but like I was still stuck in that position. And he then like said that like, like you didn't like move at all, so you're pretty much asking for it. And I just was too scared to say anything else, and that's when he still like proceeded to continue. So that was another time that I got sexually assaulted. So if you know who you are, then you know who you are. Another thing that I'm really not am proud of was that I did, go on, like I did watch porn at a very, very, very early age. Like minor. We're talking minor shit, okay? I was a minor and I was basically, going in all these like gay like chat rooms and stuff. And I was pretty much showing my body while I was under the age of 18, which I do not want anyone to make the same mistakes that I did, okay? And on top of that, I just want to make like I guess like a statement, or I want to like send this message to those who have children or who are raising children. Please educate your kids about these things, okay? Because I do not want anyone to go through the same things that I have dealt with and been through. It got so bad to the point where a man who was in his 30s groomed me through the internet when I was probably around like maybe like 15. Like this could happen to your kid. And something like that could happen and you wouldn't know it unless you check on your kids. So please do whatever you can to protect your kids. Okay? I do not wish that upon anyone else ever. Okay? To the man who groomed me when I was a kid, I know who you are. I know what your name is. I know that you live in California. Somewhere in California. Javier Alonso, I wish you nothing but hell. Okay? The fact that you would proudly take advantage of people like me, minors, like I was when I met you, and the fact that you would even say age is just a number in the same damn breath, I hope that one day karma will get you and you will go to fucking prison. Because I did not deserve to go through that. That was something that I did not sign the fuck up for. I know I should have been more careful, but it doesn't take away the fact that I was being taken advantage of. Again, I do not want anyone to try to victim blame me as if I was asking for it, because you would never know what will happen to you until it happens. Especially when you get groomed at a young age by someone you don't even fucking know, especially if they are a grown-ass adult that know exactly what the fuck they're doing. This is something that I've hid for a long time because I found it to be super embarrassing that I even had to experience that. But at the same time, I had to be aware that what he did was not my fault. And if you were in the same situation as I was, it's not your fault. I'm telling you right now, it is not your fault. You did not deserve to go through the trauma they have to deal with people online or in real life that groom you, to manipulate you into doing things that you are not supposed to do at an early age. Specifically, to have sex with a grown-ass adult. I don't give a fuck what their gender is, okay? I don't give a fuck who they are. It is unlawful, inexcusable, unexcusable, okay? And again, I do not want to wish this, and I do not wish this on anyone ever, because I don't think a lot of these people that have never experienced this kind of abuse will ever understand how traumatizing it is for a child like myself back then to go through something like that. If I ever hear another person to just tell a victim to get over it, it's like, who are you to say to tell me to calm down and to move on and get over it? This is shit that people like me have to think about for the rest of our fucking lives. Trauma is not something where you could just get over in just a fucking day or a week, let alone a month. These traumas that we deal with will always be in the back of our fucking heads, especially when we are in situations where we have to depend on our flight or fight response, or fight or flight. I don't give a fuck at this point, okay? I really do not fuck with victim blaming at all. It is unacceptable, especially when a person opens up about something vulnerable and traumatic in their lives that they're too scared to open up about. And so I'm here to use my platform as a way to educate those who either may understand or may not understand. Like, this is a space for us to really use our voices and to amplify our voices, okay? We need to be there for those who have been through so fucking much. And I'm so grateful that I'm where I'm at right now, because I've learned, okay, from those experiences, I know that not only was it not my fault that I had a person take advantage of me and to use my body and to manipulate me, but it helped me, to really be more assertive and to not be afraid to speak up. If you see something, say something. And if I have to be really honest, without the first person who have opened up about their story and their past interactions between them and soju, I would have not told mine. And I would have not been vocal at all about sexual assault and my personal experiences with it. Because this whole entire time, throughout that period of my life, the reason why I hid that for such a long time was because I would tell myself all the time, things could have been worse. I kept downplaying the severity of some of these issues that I've dealt with in the past, right? This is what I'm saying. Like, trauma does not go away. It will be there for the rest of your life. It's just how you cope with it. You know what I mean? And so I hope by making this video, I really hope that more people get to discuss about sexual assault, especially in the gay community, because I don't think people realize how common it is that sexual assault, date rape, etc. happens. Okay? It is concernably common, and we need to keep holding people that abuse their power and to abuse other people for sex accountable. We need justice from those who try to tear us apart, who try to tear us down, who tried to make our lives a living fucking hell. Okay? I just want to let you know, to the people who have took advantage of me, to the people who told me to get over it, to the people who kept downplaying my issues, to the people who would even have the audacity to downplay other people's issues as if it's an easy thing to get over. You can kiss my motherfucking ass, because I'm not here to play fucking games. I'm just here to coexist just like everybody else. And if you're gonna make it harder for people like me, then you are part of the problem. Understand that. I know there are always gonna be people out there that are not gonna take me serious, okay? But I know where my intentions are, okay? And at this point, I'm here to tell my story, and I'm here to let everybody know that they're not alone, okay? I also wanna talk a little bit about her fucking so-called explanation according to Out Magazine. Can we talk about that for a second? Because I find this to be some of the most like fucking Jesus fucking Christ. Like, she thought she did what she did, but she did the complete fucking opposite. So the tweet that I posted in regards to sexual assault has been featured in the article, which, like, first of all, they should have asked me first and all the other victims that have been involved in this. But this is what she had the audacity to say. While I await full advice from my legal representative to make an official statement, I was sure that I have anticipated these claims after threats and extortion attempt was sent to me as recently as January 2020. She then continues on saying, these claims were first brought to my attention by a contact asking for a large sum of money, and then said, I have photographic proof of these attempts. Okay, then fucking show them. Fucking show them if you actually have receipts. And then in the same sentence, in the same statement, I would never dismiss or diminish a victim's experience. You're basically like are saying that all the victim stories are false, yet at the same time, you're saying I would never diminish or dismiss a victim's experience. Let that sink in for just a fucking second. And even then, she even made like a statement on her Instagram, which is private. She's a fucking pussy. So let's look at this right here. So she then like talks about like her experience as a gay Asian male to excuse herself from the problem, basically. And so she says like, I came out and had my first sexual experience with a man at age 21. The fact that she even had the audacity to say I was promiscuous and led a stereotypically F-boy life. First of all, that's not fuckboy behavior. That's just you sexually assaulting and raping multiple people. And the fact that you would try to downplay that as saying, I live a fuckboy life. No, you made a crime. You committed multiple crimes. Another thing that I forgot to mention as I was recording this portion of this video, I personally, as a gay Asian male in the United States, I know what it's like to be mistreated in the gay community just for my ethnicity, right? But I'm not gonna go out my fucking way to rape and sexually assault multiple people as a way to seek revenge from other people. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna go out my way to just traumatize another person's life just because I'm not getting what I want, or just to like excuse myself from that toxic behavior. And even then, I understand that there were a lot of mistakes that I've made in the process of, trying to find myself, trying to, cope with whatever it was I was struggling with, especially being, in the gay community, while also deal with some racist remarks from different people, okay? But that does not excuse you, okay? That does not excuse you to traumatize multiple people around you as if that's a good way to cope with whatever it is that you're dealing with, or to cope with it. You know what I mean? So no, that is no excuse. But anyways, back to the video. She then starts victim blaming again and saying, I've dealt with rumors that were untrue. And then how she said she was blackmailed and had to use the law to protect herself from extortion. I know that I shouldn't be this reactionary, but honestly, this grinds my fucking gears because you're literally excusing your behavior, okay? You don't even want to admit that you raped multiple men. And the fact that you're not taking accountability for that really shows your true colors, okay? So I just gotta fucking say that, because what the fuck? My way of life could have hurt people who wanted more from me emotionally but didn't receive it. Bitch, you definitely did fucking hurt people. Not only that, but you literally traumatized them. You traumatized the victims, bitch. The fuck? And I don't mean to act in such like a very like angry way, but this shit makes me so mad. And I have the right to be mad. It's like you're asking for sympathy when you literally committed a crime, multiple crimes, and manipulated people. Like, what the fuck? Literally, my voice is starting to hurt because of how much I am yelling. You see how there's like a fucking pattern with everyone that has like been exposed for sexually assaulting multiple people and raping multiple people? They do that same shit over and over again, where they would try to dismiss themselves from the issue by excusing their behavior and victim blame and try to manipulate their audience into thinking like, oh, like I am a good person, all that stuff. Like, admit that you fucked up. And just the fact that he's also in his 30s now, he knew exactly what he was doing. Okay? And there was a screenshot, okay? I don't know if I could like find it anywhere, but like there was a screenshot that I found where it was like on his personal Instagram, right? Which is private. He took a picture of a book he was reading, and it was like something about like the life of a sociopath. So this is what it looks like. Confessions of a Sociopath, A Life Spent Hiding in Plain Sight by Emmy Thomas. That was like the book that Soju was reading. And in the caption, he had the audacity to like type in spooky or scary in Korean. And I'm pretty sure someone has screenshots of that. I just know it. I could double check on my phone or my camera roll if I have that screenshot, but like the fact that this person is digging themselves a deeper grave is kind of funny to me. But also it's like you did this to yourself. You know what I mean? You completely did this to yourself. Please stop supporting Soju. I just do not want anyone to fall victim under her wrongdoings, okay? I don't even care where she is now, okay? So that's my story. And I do want to give a shout out to My Name Isn't Kev on Twitter. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't have told my story. I wouldn't have had the courage to tell my own story. If you are a person who has been through sexual assault, do not be afraid to speak up. Do not be afraid to say something, and understand that it takes time to do so, okay? It took me such a long time to really understand the whole entirety of my past interactions with certain people who have took advantage of me and my body. And it is never too late to open up about your story, but it takes time to get to that kind of confidence when it comes to telling your story. So please take your time. Do not be afraid to take your time, and know that you are not alone, and that you are not the only person that feels or has been through these certain situations, okay? I'm here for you, as well as the victims that have been victims of Soju's wrongdoings, okay? You're not alone. We're all here for you. We're all here to support each other, and we cannot let these people get away with it. And this applies to every single industry. So whether if it's the drag industry, the music industry, every franchise, like please apply this to every single corporation, whatever, okay? Hold these people accountable no matter what, okay? It's a very like scary topic to talk about, but this needs to be talked about. We need to continue to address these things, because the less we talk about it, you know, the more our voices are going to be shoved under the rug, and the more these people are going to get away with these wrongdoings. So please speak out. Please check on those who have been affected by this and make sure they're okay. Okay, check up on your friends, check up on your family members. You know, like do not be afraid to ask for help either, okay? Seek professional help if the situation gets worse. You know, you deserve nothing but happiness, and you deserve to be confident in your own skin, to be comfortable with your own skin. Like just don't give up, okay? Like please never stop fighting even if it feels exhausting, okay? Take breaks, okay? If it's extremely overwhelming, you can take a break. It's okay. But please know that you are not alone in this fight, okay? I'm here for you. We're all here for you. To lighten up the mood a little bit, I'm gonna do a little 5-second rendition of We're All in This Together by the High School Musical soundtrack. We're all in this together once we know when it's we see it. I think I've talked about pretty much everything that I feel needs to be said. So, if you guys made this far, thank you guys so much for hearing my story. It truly means the world to me. I'll leave some resources in the description below, so that you guys can get professional help if you are ever in a situation where either you're sexually assaulted, or if you know someone who's sexually assaulted or who has been sexually assaulted. I'll leave some resources in the description below. I'll also leave the phone number and the website to the National Suicide Prevention Line. If there's any other additional info that I'm missing, I will also leave that in the description below as well. Thank you once again for hearing my story. And please know that speaking out is a muscle, and it takes time. But it doesn't mean that it's impossible to get to that kind of point in your life where you feel confident enough to be assertive and to stand your ground. Okay? It takes time. Okay? Always remember that. I love you guys so much. Please take care. Be safe. Be careful when you go on the internet, especially to people you talk to online, as well as dating apps like Grindr, Tinder, etc. Your safety is your number one priority, okay? I really do appreciate you guys so much. I don't know when I'm going to post a video on this main channel because I'm working on a podcast. I'm working on like a whole bunch of other projects and stuff, so bear with me, okay? But When the time is right, more content on my main channel will be coming soon. I promise you guys that. But in the meantime, I just feel I need to make this video as a way to spread awareness. And yeah, again, thank you so much for listening. If you made it this far, I love you. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.